Hello everybody, hi, Oliver Gardner here for Regeneration International. Thank you for being with us here on, well, Facebook. I think this is a Facebook video.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're at the COP23 UN climate negotiations in Bonn, Germany, where there are 194 countries negotiating, well,
Yeah.
global temperature increase below 1.5 degrees.
Yeah.
Will we get there? Anyway, we have an interviewee here, very interesting interviewee. But before we get to the interview, I would like to encourage you to pick up your phones and text BYTES, B-Y-T-E-S, at 97779 to know more about, well, organic farming and organic food and lifestyle. And you can also follow us on Twitter at Organic Consumer. Hello.
Hi, how are you doing,
Who are
Oliver?
you?
My name is Barbara Hachipuka Banda. I'm from Zambia. I work with small-scale women farmers to teach them natural agriculture, an alternative form of farming.
So, farming with nature.
Farming with nature.
So how do we do that? I mean, we have a pretty good idea here at Regeneration International, but you're farming in Zambia, and as we know, farming really does depend on quite a lot of different factors.
Yes, it does.
Context of land, context of the social situation of the populations that depend of the functional ecosystem that that land provides.
Yes.
So what have you been looking at? First of all, how did you start, and what are you looking at today?
So basically we started in 2005 when we met Shumei-International. Shumei-International is a Japanese organization that works with us in Zambia, and one of their main sources of farming is natural agriculture. So they basically taught us the method of natural agriculture. The whole basis of natural agriculture is to replenish the soil, to focus on three aspects. It's the fact that you have to focus on the seed, which is the indigenous seed that works better with the ever-changing environment and the ever-changing climate that we're suffering today. The second aspect is replenishing the soil by bringing back the moisture into the soil. And we do that by mulching the soil instead of leaving dry desert soil just exposed to the sun and exposed to the elements. We mulch it, we cover it to ensure that the topsoil remains moist and it remains good. So one of the major factors of natural agriculture is the farmer themselves. We always exclude the farmer. We assume that, you know, it's just easy to farm, minus people that know what the land is about and what the soil is about. But the farmer is an important factor. And for a place like Zambia, at least 80% of the population relies on farming as a source of income and a source of food.
And so, well, composting, mulching, teaching farmers how to, well, actually build topsoil.
Yes, but we don't. What we don't focus on is composting. The major part of natural agriculture is you do not need to feed the soil. The soil exists with everything in it. You can grow food. You're seeing right now we're in Bonn. There are all these beautiful trees, all this beautiful grass. It didn't get here because some man walks around fertilizing it. It's here because it naturally exists within the soil. So as a farmer, you don't need to add anything excess except your labor, your time, your effort, your love for the food that you grow and for farming. So at the end of the day, we do not compost. We focus on natural agriculture and rebuilding the soil naturally.
And also you have a good look at nature, and when nature's actually going wrong, you can actually see where
it's happening.
Yeah.
Yes, the illness that exists. One of the major things we've discovered while working with small-scale farmers is a lot of them say, fine, one of the things we have is insect damage. There's army worms, there's various insects eating through vegetables, eating through their corn, eating through various things. One of the things we've discovered with natural agriculture, the less you put into the soil, the less the chances of any insect damage. We've had examples of when the army worm hit southern Africa, when it hit Zambia. A lot of the fields that were grown with fertilizers, with hybrid seeds, were attacked by the army worm. But the ones that were grown with natural agriculture, using natural methods, using the mulching system, using our method, weren't actually attacked. The corn was bigger, better, and it survived the attack.
And so, what outcomes have you had, sort of before and after? Well, we've been talking about land, but what impact has this had on livelihoods?
It's actually had quite a major impact. One of the major things is that a lot of the farmers that were unable to grow food are able to grow food for their families. Yes, guaranteed, there's an economic aspect that farmers want more money to send their kids to school, want hospitals and want other things. But our main focus was to get them to acknowledge the fact that you can actually grow food minus needing to borrow inputs, minus needing to poison our soils with fertilizers and chemicals. Yes, guaranteed, what we're looking for as Africa is more yields, but is that where our future is headed? Because the same land we're poisoning with more fertilizers, more pesticides, is going to be destroyed. We're not even going to be able to grow anything on it. You see a lot of commercial farmers begin to grow food somewhere, and then after the land is poisoned, they move to another piece of land. We don't have that advantage in Africa. We don't have those facilities. So we need people to be able to grow food, to be able to sustain their families. And we've managed to educate them that they can do this. The second stage is just to help them facilitate an organized system where they can accumulate those food sources and sell them for good prices.
So we're here at the COP23 UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, the 13th session of it. 23rd, sorry, that was a desertification, a completely different convention. Now, what's the importance of all this in regards to climate change?
It's a funny thing. When you're talking to people like me, I represent the farmer. I feel like the farmer has no voice. When we come to these COP conferences, it's meetings, it's corporate, it's people that are sitting in offices that are wearing suits, not gumboots and going out into fields and looking at families. But, we represent the people. When we come to like the Bonn sessions here, we represent the people. We want to be part of networks like Regeneration-International, 41000, to be part of a network that builds projects that are going to make scalable impact. The whole point of this was not to start with 100 women, but thousands and thousands of women across Africa to practice natural agriculture. And the only way we can do that, it may seem very small from your perspective because I'm a small project in Zambia, but through networks like these with Regeneration International and other organizations and people like Shumei that can support small projects like this is a scalable project that can change the world. But we have to realize that first.
So there we are. So the message is that farmers are the solution.
And they're an important part.
A very important part.
Very important part.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Oliver.
Just before we go, we were talking yesterday about the different politics that's going on in Africa at the moment, and how, and I think it's important that we talk about this.
Yes.
Talk about how farmers are being affected by the different funds, development funds that have been hitting governments at the moment, and the fact that actually certain areas of Zambia right now have had pretty good rainfall.
Yes, pretty good rainfall last year, so their harvest is ready and present.
The harvest is ready and present. However, there's been some political turmoil.
Yes, the corn prices are pretty low this year due to the fact that our government in Zambia can't get IMF bailout funds, but that's not the factor. It's the factor that the farmer has managed to grow more food, but they're not getting the value of their product. So, we appeal to our governments to look at the farmer not as an individual or, as a small factor, but a major factor, that this is what drives our countries, that agriculture is part of our indigenous system, and agriculture is a driving force in our countries. They need to not only look at road development, infrastructure development, but they need to look at developing the farmer and the farming systems.
And so we should start rewarding farmers for
their work.
For their work, and especially when it comes to climate change.
Yes.
Because they're helping draw down the emissions, they're helping draw down carbon, methane, nitrous oxides, whether it's through agroforestry or sound livestock management that can mimic systems of patterns of wild graziers, as we well know. We'll actually have an interview very soon about that. And so and we're actually organising an event. So
Yes.
aren't we? We're going to be
We are.
we're going to be organising an event, and this is happening just before a high-level meeting of the 4.1000 initiative. The 4.1000 initiative, as many of you know, but certainly some of you don't. 4.1000 initiative is what we call the most important climate agreement that is the least known.
Yes.
Because it basically puts agriculture at the centre of the way we deal with climate change, and it's actually been signed on by 40 governments, assessing that it is time now that we look at soils as the big drawdown solution. Now, lots of different people have signed on.
Yes.
We've signed on. The organic movement has signed on. Big corporations have also signed on. But it's a voluntary initiative, and we're really encouraging our movements, our networks to sign on so that we can represent a majority and have an influence on global policy making when it comes to climate and agriculture.
So if you're in Bonn, please attend our session. It's tomorrow at 7:30.
At 7:30
at
the HQ headquarters of IFEM Organics International, formerly known as the International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movements, right next to the UNFCCC building, right behind the igloo of the we're still in of the new American movement that's here that really supports climate change. It supports combating climate change, mitigating climate change. So anyway, we're off. We're signing out now. My arm is stretching out, and it's sort of, it's getting a bit stiff, and it's getting a bit cold out here. So remember, keep in touch. Remember, you can text BITES for all the information you want from the Organic Consumers Association on organic food and farming and lifestyle. Oh, it feels so good. Oh, we feel so good, don't we?
We do.
Oh, we wake up in the morning with a smile on our face. And you can follow us on Twitter at Organic Consumer, and also sign up to our newsletter on organicconsumer.org. Signing out. Auf Wiedersehen.